we're working on intros, and I was thinking of maybe doing, "Hi, Maddie here," like from Avatar when it's Zuko, and he's like, "Hi, Zuko here,"
Hello, Zuko here.
when he's trying to figure out how to introduce himself to the group. I thought maybe that would work, so let's try that this week. Hi, Maddie here. This week, we are coming with a book review. Last week was a little about me. If you want to know more about me, why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I read what I read, how I pick what I read, and all of that good stuff, it's all in that video. This week, we are talking about a book. Specifically, Let It Snow. For those of you who don't know, I love Christmas. I love Christmas. I love Christmas movies. I love Christmas songs. I love everything to do with Christmas. And this book has been on my to-be-read shelf for like ages. And I read it last year for the first time. And it was perfect because I read it with my in-laws, but they have a nice big fireplace, and I just sat in front of their fire and read for like 5 days. And this is one of the books that I read. It's a collection of 3 stories, but they all go together and you get this nice little bow at the very end of the last story tying everything together. And it is so interesting and so funny and chaotic. And you're like, what? So it's by 3 different people. It's Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Miracle. That's how I would say her name. It has a Y in it. I really recommend this book because, it's Christmas. So it's 3 stories over, I guess you could say 3 days. It's the 24th, 25th, 26th of December. And each story has its own tropes. It has its own couples. And I love it. You get so many cute stories, and I love them so much. They're so cute. I need to I'm gonna get off this video and I'm just gonna start rereading because that's what I do. I didn't mention this last week, and I meant to and I forgot to. I'm a rereader. To go in with my crazy emotions attached to real and not real people, I'm a huge rereader. So when I love a book, it gets read often. They kind of fall into 2 categories. You have the books that I've reread so many times I can quote them, like my favorite books I mentioned last week. And then other books are books I like a lot, but I don't reread them until I've forgotten what happens. I don't need to forget the whole story, but like the climax or the resolution, I want to forget how it happened when I reread it, so I can, obviously it's not reading it for the first time again, but it's close-ish. One thing I would love about getting amnesia would be rereading my favorite books for the first time, because reading a book for the first time, especially a book that becomes your favorite, that is euphoria, the best. It's the most amazing feeling, just reading as fast as you can and turning the pages and, trying to stay comfortable and switching your positions and being in the book. It's the best. I love it. I often have a book with me. A lot of the times I don't read it if I'm with people because, well, that's rude. And it's also partially just like a security blanket. But if I am with people and reading, I try not to act out how I'm feeling, but sometimes it happens anyways, especially when people are being the worst. I'll just be like, oh no, why? And I'll tend to bang my book on my face. I'll go like this because I just need to sit for a second and close my eyes and pretend that I'm not just ready to punch a fictional character. And the amount of times my husband has been like, oh, don't worry about her. She's just reading a book. Because he has to say that to people. I mean, oh, don't worry. She's fine. She's just reading. And sometimes they'll let me talk for about 30 seconds and be like, oh my gosh, this person sucks. So it's a good time. So that's the book for this week. I super duper recommend it. I've already written a blog on it that you should totally go read. It's really short. So I tried to keep my blogs around 800 to 1,000 words. They're not very long. It's just kind of to give you a little snippet of the book. I always include a summary of the book that I'm talking about because I want you to come in having some idea of what I'm talking about. So you should go read that blog. And I'm going to ramble a little bit more for this video for a couple of reasons. One, being we're near the beginning, and I would like to put out some longer videos, just kind of setting a baseline of, one, who I am as a person, but also who I am as a reader. Because if this is a channel about me reading books and calling myself, book lover, book reader, whatever, you need to know more about me and my habits, let's call them. Hopefully not too, not unhealthy, just maybe a little bit weird sometimes. If you want to know that I'm a reader, or if anyone's a reader, actually, when you enter their house, can you see books? If you can see those books, are they in any way organized? If you walk up to those shelves, does the person that lives there, do they walk up to you and say, oh, this is whatever book, or this is this? These are how to spot book nerds, in case you're wondering, because my bookshelves are organized. So I have the bookshelves in our bedroom are almost entirely to be read, but it also has completed journals and blank journals in there also. But it's mostly just stuff I haven't read. It's all color-coded because why not? And then in the living room, we have 2 bookcases, and those are organized. So the bookshelf on the left, the top shelf is like nonfiction, spiritual kind of books, like devotions I've read, but also like biographies, things like that. And then the next 2 shelves are series. So I've got Lord of the Rings, Percy Jackson, a manga called Imadoki. Ooh, what else do I have on there? The Traitor series. To all the Boys I've Loved Before series. I think I have a couple of other ones, but I don't remember. So those 2 shelves are series. The one from the bottom is books I've read that I might never touch again because they're fine. And then the bottom shelf on both bookcases are Evan's books. Because he doesn't care. I didn't want to put my books on the bottom shelf. So the bottom shelves are Evan's books. And then the right bookcase, the top shelf is to be read. More kind of on the front of my mind to be read. Ones I want to read more immediately or next. Also, library books. I like keeping all my library books in one place. So, top shelf of the right bookcase. The second shelf is probably the most important, and it holds all of my favorite books. These are the ones that I've reread so many times I have them memorized. It's those books. It's the second shelf, right at eye level. Those are those books. Then going down is I don't want to call them collections. If I have more than 2 books, so a minimum of 3 books by one author, they're on that shelf. So Jane Austen, Sarah Dessen, I think I have some Meg Cabot, Teresa DesJardien. And then the next shelf underneath that is books I've read that there's a chance I'll reread them, but they're not important enough to be at eye level. So, ways to spot a book nerd with Madeline Storm Bolton. I also wanted to say just a couple more things. One is, this is an office advent calendar. My husband got it for his birthday in October, and we've been saving it. We didn't start opening it early, and so we've been doing it every single day, and it was his birthday present. It was for him. His sister gave it to him. And every single day he's asked me to open it for him. And he just sits and he watches, and I just get really excited, and I will open it and I hold it because it's in like little packaging. And I'll say, okay, who do you think it is today? And we guess. And we've been wrong for like half of them. We have Michael, Jim, Pam, Daryl, and Oscar. We were expecting Dwight to be day 2. And then after Jim, I was like, that's going to be Pam. So I was like, okay, Dwight's going to be day 4. And he's not day 4. Day 5. Not day 5. So my guess is Dwight's got to be like the last day. That's the only way to make up for that. Because he's pretty important. Just saying. Next I wanted to say, if we're going to go across the screen, next is I wanted to show off my shirt. So it's a Dodie shirt. She is a musician who kind of got her start on YouTube. She still does YouTube. She has some very funny videos. One of my favorite is Pasta's Good Life is Bad. It's hilarious. Also, she has a video from like, golly, at least 5 or 6 years ago. And it starts with, hey, where have you been? It's been one empty month on your YouTube page. And it goes on from there, and I can sing almost all of it. But anytime somebody says, hey, I'm like, hey, where have you been? My husband now knows this, and he like kind of tries to stop me, being like, I didn't mean to say hey. I've seen her at least 3 times. I saw her kind of coolly enough for the first time in Cambridge, England, with my little sister. She was doing an internship in Manchester. I was doing an internship in Paris. So we were like, middle ground, let's go to Cambridge. So we made it happen, and it was awesome. Then I've seen her in Houston, and I've seen her in Dallas. I friggin' love her, and she's awesome. And, you know, I worked out today and then showered, and I had to like actually think about what I was putting on my body. Normally, I dress with how I'm feeling. Like, all my shirts, all my dresses, shoes, everything, I can tell you either who gave it to me, or where I was when I got it, who I was with when I got it, you know, what event I wore it to, or whatever, because I am so deeply sentimental with everything all the time. It's slightly exhausting. It took like 3 years for my husband to convince me to throw out a broken umbrella because my mom had given it to me. So I didn't want to get rid of it because my mom had given it to me. She's given me lots of other wonderful things that are cute and pretty and functional with my clothing, with how I dress every single day. I know who gave it to me. I know where I got it. I know what I was doing, etc. This is the Dodie from last March. I went with my little sister and her husband and a couple of her friends. It was super duper fun. I actually sewed my entire outfit for that concert. I was very proud of it. It's one of those things where maybe it wasn't the most flattering, but it was a very Dodie appropriate outfit because she does lots of monochromatic outfits. So it was very Dodie. So I thought it was appropriate. So shirt is being worn on purpose so I could talk about it. Next is, I have not read through this whole book, but I want to show it to you because I'm very proud of it. It is Letters from Father Christmas. So for those of you who don't know, J.R.R. Tolkien, he wrote letters to his kids from Father Christmas. And something that I love is they have the letters, but then they have the original letter, but then they write it out for you. And that's so cool. And so my sister saw it and she gave it to me a couple of years ago because she was like, you need to own this book. And I was like, you're right, I need to own this book. And then I also wanted to mention this little guy. He's great. We got him in like, I don't know, pretty soon after we moved here, like June or July. And he's got his happy. And we got sad. And I use this to convey to my husband how I'm feeling. So on the days where I'm like, don't approach, it's not a good idea, you won't have a good time, we do this. And then when it's safe to approach me again, we do this. But I just love him. I think he's so cute. And now that I've got like a legitimate setup, for those of you who don't follow my Instagram, I posted on my Instagram about getting a new webcam for Christmas. I got it early because my husband is wonderful and kind and generous and wanted me to have a new camera for the filming of December. Anyways, if you don't follow my Instagram, I posted that I got a new camera. We set up a mic. I had his old mic, I guess, but it was just, it could not pick me up unless my face was like in the mic. So he generously is letting me use his Blue Yeti microphone, which is very cool. It makes me feel very, very official. And then I have my ring light that he gave me for my birthday. This was partially a you should read a book, and partially a get into the mind of a book nerd who's starting out her YouTube channel video. I do want to add, I want to say, one, please forgive all of my wandering, my voice not being consistent as I move to and from the mic because I'm all over the place. Also, my inconsistencies of looking at the camera versus looking at the screen, because it's easy to look at the screen when the camera's right there. I'm supposed to look at the camera. I'm supposed to look at you guys, but it's camera. So we're still learning because, you know, you're easily distracted by yourself. So thank you for your patience and your graciousness through all of that. I also want to just kind of reiterate a couple of things about my channel. You know, my name is Madeline Storm Bolton. I write a blog called Storm's Reading Books because my maiden name is Storm. I love it. I'm very proud of it. Storm's Reading Books. I've been doing that blog for a few years, and it made sense to move to this platform. And so thank you for watching this. Thank you for, even with the few people that have, thank you for creating a space where I, maybe not confidently, but I know that I can come with no makeup on, and that's okay. That you can see my ring light and my glasses, but now we actually reset up all my screens and it looks a lot better. You can see the ring light less because it's over there instead of right in front of me. Thank you for allowing me to be my true and genuine self, to not feel like I need to put on a persona of a person who does their makeup every day, because I don't. I don't wear makeup very often. And even on the days that I do, I wore makeup this last weekend and like I got home and like immediately just all off because I just don't wear it. And my skin's mad at me now. Breaking out like crazy, and I was really tempted to wear makeup, but I was like, no, we've started this. You're not wearing makeup unless it's, you know, there's something specific. That's fine. But in general, we're going with no makeup, glasses on, because that's who I am as a person. I love my glasses. They're annoying sometimes, but only when like I'm trying to lay down and watch something and this hurts because it's like that. My second pair of glasses, I specifically bought them because they're really skinny right here. So I can wear my headphones with them without them hurting. These ones are real, it's so hard to see. They are very fat. I can't see. They're very fat. And I cannot wear my headphones with these glasses or it hurts in like 2 seconds. So we bought a second pair of glasses to wear with headphones. But if there's any, maybe I'll end every video with just little tidbits about who I am as a person. Because, you know, I'm also looking at the screen. I'm like, oh, I've got my wedding ring, which I think is a really cool story behind it. And I'm an Aggie. I could talk about that too. And I've got these rings, which are actually book related. Maybe I'll talk about that sometime. So maybe each video is going to start with a review and end with look into the mind of a book nerd. And lots of other things. But that's one of the easiest to grab onto, let's say. I don't know, I'm really enjoying talking, which is weird because I think I said last time I have a hard time feeling like my words have value and it's worth taking up space in the world. But that I do want to take up space. I don't want to feel lost. But like I said, it's really easy for me to not talk. And even when I do talk, I get super self-conscious that I said the wrong thing or a weird thing or like this story didn't make sense or why did you say that? And this is a platform in which I can just kind of release my stream of consciousness. Yeah, I think I like that idea of just kind of this being a place of, let's talk about the things that go on in our heads that might be normal, might be weird. It doesn't matter either way. You are still an awesome, wonderful, and valid human being. Whether your habits are some, within the norm of certain, identifying markers, signs of depression, anxiety, ADHD, whatever. Those things don't define you. They're just labels that make you extra sparkly. It doesn't matter whether any of your habits are normal or not. That does not make them any less valid. It does not make you any less valid. It doesn't make your habits any less valid. I think I just repeated myself, but that's okay. So, this is a place where we can talk about those things, where we can dive into those things, go off on our streams of consciousness and maybe figure out why we feel the way we feel, why we think the way we think, why we're doing what we're doing. This is going to be very interesting editing it, but I'm excited about it. I am so excited for this journey. I've really enjoyed this way more than I knew I was going to like it, but this has been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm excited for the next few weeks. So this week, the corresponding blog is a past blog. Next week, we'll have its own corresponding blog because blogs go every other week. And for December, videos are going every week. So, check out this video. Obviously, I want you to check out this video. But next week, be looking for a video and a blog. And the blog and video are not just going to be the same thing in two different formats. But they're going to mostly be different. Like, they'll be the same topic, but they'll probably just be two different tangents about said topic, because that's how my blogs tend to go. They're reviews in like the loosest sense of the word. I don't go through and like, well, this character development and this plot development and this scenery and this alliteration and this foreshadowing. No. Mine is, these are the tropes and I like them, or this is annoying, or I like this quote specifically. I've written entire blogs about one quote and how it made me feel from specific books. So my reviews are very loosely reviews. It is mostly this is how it made me feel. This is why other people should read it so that you feel this way too. I'm a very feelings-oriented person, if you couldn't already tell. Is there anything else that I want to say before we sign off on this lovely, ridiculous, scatterbrained video? I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you have a great night, great day, great week, great weekend, great month, great year. All the greats. I hope you have all of them because you are truly worthy and deserving of it. So until next time, bye.